Welcome, sir. Thank you for joining me today. Today, we're going to go over the 7 G's, the process of the psychological processes. So if you have any questions, make sure to stop me if you want me to explain something further to you, okay? So let's begin. So before we begin, I would like to explain what a specific learning disability is. So it's a disorder in one or more of the basic psychological processes involved in understanding or using language, spoken or written. An imperfect ability to listen, think, speak, read, or write, or spell, or even do mathematical calculations. In this meeting, this presentation, I will give you a brief definition of the G's, implication, and also accommodations for the psychological processes. Let's begin. So the first one is crystallized intelligence, which is also known as GC. A brief description would be our knowledge that increases as we learn new things in school and our learning experiences outside of school as well. So difficulties with that would be decoding words, learning new vocabulary, and reading comprehension. So how can we support your son? We can provide clear and explicit instructions. We could use short sentences with clear, concise language. And when we introduce new vocabulary, we will present it using pictures, videos, or also examples. The next one is fluid reasoning, which is GF. A brief description would be a student may have trouble with reasoning ideas, solving problems that are new, and generalizing and identifying logical relationships. So how could that implicate your son? Is drawing inferences from text after he reads a text, critical thinking, reasoning, especially with those word problems, and developing a theme after they read a story at grade level or a story, and processing language for efficient use. So some of the accommodations that we could use is provide concrete examples, chunk information and tasks, use modeling, and help your child generalize rules, concepts to real life examples. So one of the examples that I always like to present to our parents is when we are presenting the solving mathematical problems with money, we can actually use real life experiences. So that's one of the accommodations as well. The next one would be auditory processing, which is also known as GA. It's their ability to discriminate sounds and speech patterns. So implications, acquiring phonics skills, sounding out words, phonetic strategies, reading, spelling, and writing, note-taking. How can we support? Well, we can explicitly teach sight words, the rhyming patterns, context clues directly, and articulate words very clearly. Teach phonetic awareness, and read books out loud in class and independent. When we're having small group, we can also read the book out loud. So that's one of the the strategies we could use. Long-term storage and retrieval, also known as GLR. So a brief description would be the ability to reach in our memory and retrieve information easily. So the implication for this would be accessing background knowledge, retelling or paraphrasing what we have read, memorizing those mathematical facts, which is the multiplication of facts, recalling facts, procedures, expressive language, which is the way we can express ourselves, whether it's verbal or written, and receptive language, which is the way that we listen to our instructions, what we need to do. So and making those connections. So what can we do to support your son is model the desired behavior, activate prior knowledge before we begin a lesson, prioritize and chunking the instructions, provide written directions and pictures if possible, if that would benefit your son or daughter. The next one would be processing speed. That's also known as GS. And that would be the ability to perform tasks fluently and automatically that require thought. So that's just being automatic. So how does that implicate your son or daughter, or in this case it would be your daughter, is your son, excuse me, slow reading, speed interferes with comprehension. So if they are busy decoding it, they have a difficult time with their comprehension because they're busy decoding. Needing to reread to gain understanding, and a longer time to write due to factors slow to solve math problems. So what can we do is we could allow your child extra time to complete a task, shorten repetitive tasks, and allow your child extra time to respond or formulate a question. So during those whole and small group discussions, we can allow him time to express his ideas, whether it's in whole or small group. Next is visual processing. So the description there would be the ability to think with visual patterns and visual stimuli. So the implications for that is using visual features of letters to decode sight words, acquisition, reading, understanding graphs, tables, and charts, and difficulty staying with the margins or lines when they're writing. So of course, with that, one of the accommodations would be to explain the visuals. Really get down and explain those graphs, those tables, and those charts, and also limit the distractions. So just keep it to where he's able to visually see it and we can explicitly explain it. We also provide oral instructions and directions, provide modeling, and explain them. So that's key, is to model the desired behavior for our students. Our short-term memory, which is also known as GSM, the description there is the ability to hold information and use it within seconds. So the implications for that would also be reading comprehension, decoding multisyllabic words. Multisyllabic words are words that have more than one syllable. So it would be maybe words that have 2 to 3 syllables, 3 to 5, 4 to 6. It just depends on the word. So remembering math procedures, like maybe something like division, long division, having to multiply, divide, multiply, and subtract. So that would be something that would be lengthy. Identifying the main idea after they read a story, following those oral directions, and remembering information long enough to act upon it. So how can we support your son is to keep the directions short and simple, and also request for immediate feedback. So just constantly being there, asking for feedback and giving feedback. So also chunk oral instructions and use that eye contact and proximity to ensure attention. So just basically being around after, maybe go back and make sure that he is on task, and just, are you understanding this? So that's something that's very important. And lastly, I would like you to know that we are partners in education, and we together can collaborate, come up with ideas. We are open. We have an open door policy here at our campus. So what can we do? What can you do at home to support us is provide your child opportunities to read with you and other family members to keep that vocabulary going, keep that, his listening comprehension, and modeling the desired behaviors, which is reading. So encourage your child to participate and collaborate in activities in and outside the school to develop those social skills with his peers. Also provide a very structured schedule and routines for your child. And also encourage your child to look at the good side of things, have that growth mindset. So if he makes a mistake, maybe when he's completing a task, like maybe division or reading a story or whatever, what have you, to realize that we learn from our mistakes. And it's something that we, even as adults, have to do, is to learn from our mistakes and move past that. So, and learn from it. So, and that's basically it, sir. Do you have any questions for me that you would like me to answer?
Can we do these things at home?
The accommodations, yes, sir. You sure can.
Maybe we could get a copy of this briefing.
Yes, you sure can. I could email it to you. I could print out a copy, and you can have it, so you can reflect back on it, and use those at home as well. And I just want to reassure you that the accommodations will follow your son throughout each subject. So in reading, we'll be able to use it, in mathematics and social studies. So that's very important too. Teachers will implement his IEP. Okay?
Okay.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, thank you, sir.